since I literally don't do anything on the weekends, I'm already, you know, kind of banking on this whole ex-roomie story time, you know, like winning my Instagram poll. Because, like, honestly, who doesn't love a little bit of drama? I know I do. But anyways, okay. So I'm not going to say her real name out of respect for her. Obviously, I'm like trying to make sure like my camera's actually on me. Let me know if somebody wants to buy me like a $600 camera so I can like record and be able to see myself and not have to like turn my phone on airplane mode and stick it on my tripod. But anyways, if you know me personally in real life, you know exactly who I'm talking about, because there has been just this absolute shitstorm because of her. And like, not even like in a bad way, but like, it's just like, you know, if you have a problem with someone, confront them to their face and don't be like, I don't know, don't be a little bitch about it. So basically, to backtrack a little bit, her and I, we went to the same high school, but we were not friends in high school. And like we sat next to each other when we registered for the ACT. So we like knew each other vaguely, but then fast track to freshman year of college, we lived in the same dorm, and we had a community style bathroom. So we had our own bedrooms, but we shared like a common bathroom with like all the girls on our floor. And she and I both lived in single dorms, so we didn't have roommates. So her and I kind of like gravitated towards each other, especially like, you know, being from the same hometown, going to the same high school. We actually lived in the same neighborhood. And, you know, so we kind of like gravitated towards each other because, you know, we didn't have a roommate to like hang out with all the time. So basically like we met during rush week. I ended up not getting into a sorority, she did. And then like we bonded because we like both loved makeup, we both loved art, like we were very, very similar people. However, I liked to party, she did not. And then, you know, she would get mad at me if like I wanted to like go to a frat party or like go out to the bars. Like it was so weird. So, you know, we were good friends, but and had our similarities, but also had our like differences. And, you know, throughout the year I could kind of see, I don't know, like she always just would like talk bad about all her other ex-best friends. And like when we stopped being friends, it like kind of clicked that like it wasn't them, it was her. Like she would do stuff like, look, so our dorms had like peepholes on the like doors. And so she would like look in my peephole to see if my light was on, to see if I was home. And like she would like knock on my door and wake me up, and like literally she got so mad at me one time because we had these little bulletin boards outside our doors, and I got home like pretty drunk one night, and I put a sign on my little bulletin board that was like, blank, if you wake me up before 11 a.m. I will be mad. And like she got mad at me over that, and I was like, whatever. So fast track, she didn't want to live in her sorority house sophomore year, and I obviously was not in a house, so I needed to live in an apartment complex. And I wanted to live in these like kind of expensive apartments that were in downtown Columbia. So like I could still walk to campus, I could go to the bars, I was still close to like all my other friends that were like living in this kind of complex. And she didn't have anyone to live with, so she asked me if she could live with me. And I was like, oh, absolutely, for sure. And I got kind of nervous about it all come like the end of the school year, just because she had been on my ass about everything. It was like everything I did, it was wrong. Like it was just so annoying. So fast track, we move into our apartment, and things are like great at first. Like things are awesome. And then we have another random roommate, and she did not like our random roommate. So our random roommate like partied much like I did. And, you know, she wasn't going to confront me about, like, my partying. So she was like, I hate our roommate, blah, blah, blah. So then I was like, well, I mean, like, you're my best friend. So, like, I feel like I need to, like, side with you on everything. And so, like, long story short, it caused so many issues with that one roommate. And then come the end of the year, this roommate and I were tight. Like, her name's Mariah. Like, I'll shout out her name in this. She was, like, the coolest girl. Like, I wish I would have, you know, I don't know, like, hung out with her more and not listened to my other roommate, and like, I don't know. Super cool. I'm super happy I met her. Mariah, if you're watching this, like, Shout out to you for being awesome. Anyways, so about like a month into living together, I was working and she wasn't. She didn't have a job yet. And so I'm like at work one day. I worked on campus and she came by my work to like say hey, whatever. And I was like, oh, I went grocery shopping yesterday and I bought all this stuff to like recreate this like bread co salad. If you like want to eat it with me, like if you want to like put it together and then we can eat whenever I get home from work. So basically I'm giving her like a free meal. All she has to do is like put some salad ingredients together. Not a big deal. I get home from work. She put everything out on the counter for me to put it together. Whatever, you know, I'm not gonna get super mad about it. But I did get mad when she literally stood over my shoulder and instructed me how to literally chop tomatoes. I was like, I think I was like 20 at the time. I was like, I am 20 years old. I know how to chop tomatoes. Like, get off my like ass. And so basically, like, we ate dinner. She like went in her room, shut the door before we were even done, and then like, you know, common like roommate like courtesy, I guess. Like whoever cooks dinner, the other person does the dishes. Like I feel like that's pretty standard. And everybody I've talked to about it has said like, yeah, that's pretty standard. She doesn't do the dishes, so I like go hang out with my friend that lived in the building across the street from me, and then I come back home and I was like livid. Like I was so mad. So I like angrily did the dishes and was like definitely like talking like a little bit of shit while I was doing the dishes. And I was like, F this, F that, like I'm so pissed off, blah, 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 blah. And she did not speak to me for a month. We lived, like literally we shared a wall. It was impossible for us to not see each other, and she somehow made it happen. She would not come out of her room if I was in the common area. We had classes together. She acted like I didn't exist when we had our classes, and she was just like so petty about it. And finally I like texted her and I was like, we're supposed to be best friends. Like I don't understand what your deal is, but like we need to talk about this because best friends don't do this. And then finally, like 3 days later, she was like, I'm just having a rough time, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, okay, no, I get it. But like, you need to communicate. Like, you can't just like push me out of your life because you're upset with me. Like, that's not how life works. And so then fast forward a little bit, her dad comes in town for dad's weekend and she's at a job interview and I'm at the apartment. It was actually like a tailgate day. So I got home. I don't even think I drank that tailgate day. It was like our 4th tailgate in a row. So I was just wiped by that day. And so I hadn't even been drinking, and I get home and he's like just chilling in our kitchen. I was like, oh, hi. And then I didn't know what to do. So I like started unloading the dishwasher and like making small talk to be like, I mean, like she wasn't there. So it was like having like a guest in my home. Like I wanted to be a good host and I didn't want to just go like lock myself in my room. And so he said something about like, oh, like, so-and-so said that your roommate like never unloads the dishwasher and blah blah blah. And I was like, yeah, she's talking about me, because our other roommate, Mariah, she was at her boyfriend's house a lot, so you know, I didn't do dishes at our place. Like it doesn't, like that didn't bother me. If you're not home, why would I expect you to do my dishes or unload our dishwasher? And he was like, oh, no, like he wasn't talking, or she wasn't talking about you. And I was like, no, like 100% that is about me. And he was like, oh. And I was like, yeah, this is awkward. And then fast forward, I don't think anything really like stuck out to me during like the next like month or so. Oh my God, backtrack. So I had a Christmas party, and literally for my Christmas party, she put a sign on her door that was like, nobody can use my bathroom, which no big deal. My friends can use my bathroom. I don't care. And then she literally like, as soon as everybody like got there, she like locked herself in her room, and I was like, okay, like cool, ? And like, she was just so weird about it. It was like, all my friends were like, that's so uncomfortable. And like, there was other times, yeah, now I'm thinking of other stuff, but like one time I asked if I could have like a pregame at our apartment because my friend that I was going out with, her roommate's dad was in town and staying at their apartment. And so I was like, oh, then like, yeah, like we can have a pregame at my place. Let me just run it by my roommates. She didn't respond to my text. I get home, she's in the kitchen, doesn't say a word to me. So I go into my room and I come out, I'm like, hey, did you get my text? And she's like, yeah. And I was like, do you care if I have this pregame tonight? Like, I don't know what you have going on. Like, she doesn't communicate with me. And she was just like, do whatever. And I was like, okay. And I think she like said something about like, I have work in the morning, or she like made some weird comment that I was like, we're literally gonna be gone by like 9 p.m. Like, it's not gonna be a big deal. And she, like during the pregame, it was like me, my friend, and then like a few guys. She comes out and like we're all in my like kitchen, like standing around like our like kind of island thing. She comes out and like stands in the middle of us and makes a coffee on the Keurig. And I was like, this is so uncomfortable. You literally couldn't have waited like 10 minutes for us to leave. Like, whatever, this is weird. Okay, so like fast track again. So back to this whole like Christmas thing. She was going home a day after me, which was so weird to me because she always went home before me. Like the second she was done with her final, she could finish her final at 9:30 p.m. and then drive back to St. Louis because she just wanted to be home. She hated being away at school. Or at least like when I knew her. I don't know her now, so I don't know how she is now. But she was staying after me and I was like, oh, that's so weird. And so I go home because I was working back in St. Louis. So I forgot some stuff in Columbia. And so I asked her, I was like, hey, since you're still there, could you please bring back this stuff for me? It was like my mom's crock pot and my retainer or something like that. Which obviously I don't wear my retainer because my teeth are messed up again. Back to business. So she brings back my stuff. I picked it up from her house, all is well. Nothing seems out of the ordinary. I'm like, okay. And then about a week later, I realized I left all of my like summery clothes in Columbia and I was about to go to Florida with my friend that I just had this pregame with from before. And I was like, oh my God, like I have to go back to Columbia and get like my swimsuits and stuff so I can take little like beach thotty pics. And so I go to Columbia, my friend comes with me, and we're sitting in my kitchen, I remember, and I'm like sitting there, and I was like, something's off, and I couldn't quite pick it out at first. And then I look over and I see the Keurig's gone, and I was like, oh, that's so weird. I wonder if she like put the Keurig in like the pantry. Like, it didn't make sense to me, like where the Keurig might have gone. And the Keurig was hers. And so like I go and look in the pantry and then her entire shelf in the pantry is cleared. And I'm like, that's weird because, you know, we just had this like whole conversation about how we're gonna leave all of our non-perishable food here over winter break because, I mean, there's no point in like throwing it out, no point in taking it home, like it's non-perishable. So then I go and look in like our cabinets because she had like bought the cups and some other like miscellaneous things. All the cups are gone. All of her mugs are gone. Like, okay, well, like what the hell's going on? I look in the laundry room, all of her laundry stuff's gone. So finally I open her bedroom door and it is empty. Our apartments came furnished, so like her dresser and bed were still there, but besides that, like it was empty. And I was like, what? Like, what? And like the only things that like there's not even any reason like I could think that she would have wanted to like move out because like yeah, I had like guys over occasionally and like I mean girlfriends like over too, and it shouldn't have been a big deal to her. If it was, she should have said something to me. She never ever confronted me about having an issue with anything that I did. And so then I call our apartment complex and I was like, hey, did my roommate say that she like was moving out? Did she find a subleaser or something? And they were like, what? And I was like, yeah, my roommate's gone. And I was like, she's my best friend. Like, I don't know what happened. And they were like, what? And so I text her everything. She doesn't respond. She reads my messages and doesn't respond. I think I said like, you know, what happened? Like, where did you go? Like, are you okay? Like, you good? And still just like nothing. And she ends up like blocking like my Instagram, my Snapchat. She unfriends me on Facebook. Like, she just like disappeared from my life. And I was like, what? To this day, it's over a year and a half later, I have not heard from her once, which I think is so weird. And like, it's obvious to me that like everything that like all these falling outs that she had with previous friends, that was her. That was not these girls. That was not like anyone's fault but hers, because this is some straight psycho stuff. Like, who does that? Like, I don't understand who does that. And so I'm just like so mind blown by this. And then like 2 months later, I'm like sitting in my apartment, like I was getting ready to go back home for St. Patrick's Day, and somebody knocks on my door, and it's like a private investigator. And I was like, hello? And she like stopped paying her rent. And I don't know if it was because like we changed like payment methods, so you had to update how you were paying your rent, or like you couldn't pay it, or payment systems. And she stopped paying her rent, and like it turned into this huge ordeal. I don't even know if I can talk about this, but like she didn't pay her rent, and it turned into like a legal case. And like all because like she hated me. She wants to like ruin her life, like, and hated me for no reason at that. And then, you know, whatever. And then I thought it was so funny. Like, this is kind of like the end of it. But this past year, I would see her at the bars all the time. And it made no sense to me because she was so against going out. She was so against partying when we lived together and when we knew each other. Like, I had to beg her to go out with me if I wanted her to go out. And then, like, she was always at the bar, like, getting, like, drunk with, like, her friends. And I was just like, all right, bet, like, I guess it was me that you didn't want to party with. I'll have more fun without you. But it was just so weird. And like, there's like a few other things, but like other people might get pissed if I say stuff about it. And like, I'm just not trying to deal with that drama right now. But yeah, all in all, I have no idea what she's doing with her life. Yeah. I've had some ups and downs with my roommates, and that is like the lowest of lows of lows. I had like originally filmed this with like me like dyeing my hair pink, and like, I don't know. This is a sit down and just tell it to my camera type of story. And yeah, so that's what happened with my crazy ex-roommate, and I kind of hope she sees this. Maybe she'll unblock me and like tell me what was up. But yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. I will link all my social media down below, and I will see you guys in the next one. Oh yeah, subscribe. Click that bell icon as well so you get notified every time I post, because you know I'm trying to post more. So I just made that so awkward. And thank you guys so much for watching. I'll catch you in the next one. And let me know in the comments if you like these story times, because my life's kind of a shit show, so might as well share it with everyone.